So let's talk about VidCon. We had a great time, and we learned a whole lot of stuff that we're looking forward to using for our videos as soon as we get home. We met a lot of people who are interested in language and linguistics, and we wanted to ask them for some of their best language stories. I think you'll agree that they came up with some pretty cool stuff. One thing, we weren't using our usual equipment, and VidCon is a really noisy place, so you may want to be watching with the captions turned off. And maybe not use headphones? Just saying.
So once I was traveling around in Denmark, and so I ended up going to a hot dog stand, and I tried ordering in Danish, and one food item which is particularly common in Denmark is called ramlal. But I got the words mixed up when I was ordering that, and I said, "You ever gonna have hot dog with marmalade instead," which means jam.
Okay.
So I ended up asking for a hot dog with jam.
Nice.
And the woman was just like, "What?"
Yeah.
And so I was just like, hot dog with ramula. It was very good.
Yeah.
So my favorite language-related story is when my husband and I, Mr. German Man, we first got married. We had our wedding in Germany, and my parents flew over from America. They didn't speak any German, and his parents didn't speak any English. And they knew this going into it, that they didn't speak really the same language at all. And then one time I left the two moms alone, and they seemed to be doing okay, and I kind of hung out and listened in to the conversation, and I saw them both laughing and chatting, and it was just great. And so I concentrated more and really listened and realized that one was talking about potatoes and the other one was talking about like bed linens or something like that. And they thought they were having a great conversation. My mom walked away and said to me, "I don't know what you mean that she doesn't speak English. I mean, that was great. Her English is great." I was like, "Mom, okay, that's good. I'm glad you had a good time." So yeah, sometimes you can communicate and have fun together, even if you have no idea what the other person is saying.
I went to Disney World when I was learning French, and I was trying to converse at Epcot in Disney World. There's a World Showcase, so they hire people from the places that they're showcasing in this in Disney World. So I went to the France section of Disney World, and I started trying to. I think I tried to like buy a pastry or something, and that was actually successful. Like I got the words out that that allowed me to buy a pastry in French. So that was pretty cool.
Well, I was in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to study abroad, and I thought it was really cool. They had the Cuarto, which is their little slang system of words that are local to the Portuguese culture there. So I thought that was really cool subset.
So probably my favorite language-related story that I have is living in Mexico and looking like this, and often speaking a different language that isn't Spanish. People assume that I am a foreigner, and they particularly assume that I am like a wealthy foreigner from the United States. I'm from Brazil. Not true. I'm not from the U.S. But once I was at the store in like a touristy area, this sort of rural town, and these guys turned to me and go like, "Oye, güey, cóbrale más a ese pinche gringo que no tiene idea de lo que cuestan las cosas," which is Spanish for charges dude a higher price because he's just like this gringo, right, from America who has no idea how much stuff costs, and he's probably flush with cash. And my favorite moments that I was like ignored it, kept walking around the store, and then eventually when I went to buy something, they're like, "Oh man, get this guy," and I just like looked at them and told them in Spanish, "Actually, you're going to give me a discount for being offensive as heck." And they did, and I'm really proud of that moment, and that's probably my favorite language story that I have.
All right.
Yeah. So I work in retail, and I was working with a customer who spoke Italian. The customer who spoke Italian understood Portuguese. I was able to speak to him in Portuguese. He responded to me in Italian, which I kind of understood, and it was a little interesting. Like, I'm communicating with someone who doesn't know my language at all. He doesn't know English, he doesn't know Spanish, he just speaks Italian. But because of the similarities in Italian and Portuguese, I was able to work with this guy and to get him resolved with his issue. I'm translating something from English to Portuguese in my head. So speaking to him in Portuguese. He's translating it from Portuguese to Italian. Then he speaks to me in Italian, and then I translate his Italian into Portuguese into English. All instantly. It was insane. It was very, very cool. That's probably like the weirdest language thing that I've had happen to me.
My first year of Japanese in college, we had this quiz for just basic Japanese words, and one of them was to translate the word shokudo. And then we came back the next day after the professor had graded it, and we all found that we got it wrong. We're like, "Ow, that is a diner, you know, a place where you sit down and eat. We got this." And then she's like, "You guys, no, diner is spelled with one N." And the hilarious part was that she was Japanese from Japan, English was not our native language, and all of us English speakers, she called us out on something
In English.
Yeah, she called us out on it. Like she was like, "What is wrong with you people?" She was just surprised that we didn't know our own language. That was probably the best story that we had.
So I grew up in China, and Mandarin is my first language. But because I haven't lived there in 15 years, I don't know how to read or write much anymore. So when I was there, I had to sign into something and write a bunch of things, which I couldn't do, because I was trying to explain to the people in Mandarin, I don't know how to write, and then they were like, "So are you like illiterate?" And I'm like, "No, I just live in a different country." And for some reason, they just could not accept that because I spoke Mandarin fluently, and they were just thought I was some imposter trying to get into this place. I'm like, "No, I should be here. I just don't know how to write all of this information." But anyway, eventually I got in, but it was just hilarious and awkward.
And we'll be back next Wednesday with a regular episode. Thanks to everyone that we met up with at VidCon, and we hope you enjoyed this. See you soon!